What's going on YouTube? Kenny here, aka SilentFan85, doing a vlog about two things this time. Number one, I want to talk about the yin and the yang of life, the sweet without the sour, as I always put it. And number two, I'm going to be talking about DC fanaticism, or, well, no, not really. Too broad a subject. To tell you what, I'll talk about the date change that Warner Brothers has moved back on Man of Steel 2, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. I got a text message because I actually have a life outside of doing all this. So, let's start off with the yin and yang and the sweet and sour of life. There are a lot of times in life to where, me personally, and I, of course, put this on most of other human beings, because we are human, we have emotions, and we sometimes tend to focus on the negative, on what can potentially happen, on stuff like this, and I am guilty of it. I have done it most of my life, and I think I've said in other videos, it's brought me down. I still catch myself doing it from time to time, because again, I am human. We aim to be better than what we are, and I think over time, we will eventually evolve to better ourselves in that way. There are medications to help with it, there's therapy to help with it, all kinds of stuff, but when it comes down to it, it's really just remembering that you just need to breathe and remember that you're living. And life does not come without hardships. You can be the most happy-go-lucky person in the world, but you're still going to have hardships around you. And it's really more about attitude. Of course, me personally, again, as I've said, I take it in. It's probably not the healthiest way to do it, but I have always kind of taken it in and dealt with it. And, you know, just take it out on a hobby or something. It's like, it's one thing about video games. Don't get me wrong, I am not, what I'm about to say, I am not trying to say that video games feeds violence and everything, but it does kind of help release some stress when you are, for example, playing a game like Deadpool or Grand Theft Auto or Devil May Cry, and you can hack and slash and just kill shit, for lack of a better word, and just, you know, have fun with it. And just, of course, you're not practicing it in real life, which is what counts here. But, and so that's kind of how I deal with it a little bit. I also write. I also, you know, keep a small journal every so often, and I even keep my own personal vlog, which I don't put on YouTube because obviously those are private thoughts, but it helps me. So it's stuff like that that allows you to kind of just take it in, hold it for a bit. That way you don't hurt anybody else, or you know, you can remain professional as much as possible. And that's something you learn, especially in my life, of something that might help. But going back to my core subject here, in life you can't have sweet without the sour. You can have a fully sour life, but there's also going to be some sweet moments if you want to recognize them. You can't just go through life looking at every negative thing non-stop. There has got to be a break, otherwise it'll bring you down. It will take your life and put it in a rut so far down that even if somebody wanted to help you, you wouldn't let them. And that's the bad sign. If somebody's offering to help you and you don't want to let them, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. So you might want to work on it. But again, that's the thing about life. We go through these emotions. We go through the highs and the lows. It's a roller coaster, man. And, you know, it just helps to have that right kind of perspective. And again, it's hard. It can be hard for a lot of people because, especially nowadays with the so-called recession and all the stuff you see on media, if you're on the internet a lot, all the bad stuff that people say and all that, all the trolls, and you know, they think they're badass because they're hiding behind anonymity and anonymity to the anonymous comments they put. So, you know, that's some things, again, from my personal life that can kind of really affect your day and stuff like that. But, again, it's just really more about attitude and concentrating on what you need to concentrate on. Just getting done what you need to get done. Now, with that, there unfortunately will be shockwaves that will be sent out from your life that will affect other people's lives. And if you can, if it's a loved one, do what you can to help them feel better. If you know that a friend is hurting, give them a hug, smile at them, give them a pat on the back, tell them it'll be okay. If you have a significant other, hug them, cuddle with them, talk lightly in their ear, whisper to them, be sweet, be gentle. That is, if you have a significant other, I cannot push that enough. It is one of the best things in the world to have the person that you are in love with, whether it's a guy and a guy, a girl and a girl, guy in a tree, whatever. Hold them, tell them everything's going to be all right. Give them a big hug. Just get your arms around them and just say, hey, I love you. It's going to be okay. That helps a lot. And if you don't have anybody in your life, you'll find somebody. There's somebody for everybody. That's what I believe. And I believe you'll find somebody someday. So I wish you luck with it. And if you don't, just look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I'm a good person. I try really hard. I'm still here on this planet. I'm still breathing. And I know good things are going to happen for me. And it helps a lot. And if you pray, you can pray. If you don't pray, you don't pray. Just keep yourself up a little bit. Me, I pray off and on, because again, I was based on my childhood and Christian beliefs, so I still have that little bit of going for me. But you combine that with even, the non-religious points of life of getting yourself up and trying to keep positive and just reminding yourself that you are a one in an infinitesimal possibility of life. And you've got that going for you, which is nice. You are not some ant part of a colony. You are not some elephant in a cage zoo. You're able to explore. You're able to walk this planet and experience what it has to offer, both good and negative. So something to remember. Now, moving aside from all the real life stuff, how about we get to the nerdy stuff, huh? All right, so Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Can't say how excited enough I am for this film. And they've moved it forward. It was originally May 16th. Now it's March 25th. Now, if you didn't know, May 16th was originally going to be the release date for the third Captain America film as well. I was never worried about that, to be honest. There was this big uproar. Oh, a big war. Marvel versus DC. There was not going to be any comparison because it's the third Captain America film. There's been 2 more done before it. People have seen it. But in that same weekend, you have a movie that is going to be the first in the history of comics and theater having 2 of the most iconic, and I don't care if you're a fan of DC or Marvel, but you cannot deny that Batman and Superman are some of the highest iconic forms of comic literature. You cannot deny it. And if you try to, you're just reaching, and you have to find something very, very, very profound to convince me otherwise. But there was not going to be any competition with this. I think they were both going to do good numbers, but in the end, Marvel was going to lose out. Again, financially, and impact-wise on what people were talking about. Because I just imagine the situation and say, hey, okay, so what'd you go see this weekend? Oh, I went to go see the third Captain America. Oh yeah, did you get to go see Batman vs. Superman? I did! It was crazy. It was just the first time on film. And of course, it would be followed by both a negative or a positive comment, depending on how the film actually does. So, yeah, it's just, there really wasn't going to be a comparison there. But what Warner Brothers has done is outlined a release plan for 9 additional films, 7 standalone films, 2 event films, which is more than likely going to be some Harry Potter films, I would say. That's just my take on it. I could be wrong. But there is some stuff stirring in the Harry Potter universe, which I'm a fan of, so I'm cool with that as well. But I'm hoping there's going to be a Wonder Woman spinoff, a Cyborg spinoff, and definitely, please God, a Green Lantern film, hopefully a reboot. I liked the first one, I really did. I'm probably one of the few people that did. But I think it could stand to have another one. And of course, another Batman and another Superman film. Whether or not the community's torn apart just like they were in Man of Steel. I mean, you can see it on Rotten Tomatoes. Man of Steel has 50% user likage and 50% critic hate. So it's split down the middle, and that's what I go off of. But I think it's a really smart move. And Warner Brothers is just, they've made a press release saying that both studios are going to have good numbers. They're not trying to throw it back in Marvel's face. And it's actually a good 6 weeks difference between Batman vs. Superman coming out and Captain America 3. So I think it's going to work out great. So yeah, there's that. And on the part of Wonder Woman's new outfit, I think I did this in a vlog once, but I wanted to talk about it again. I think it fits, especially if they stick with that core design, because she's making her premiere in the movie. More than likely, she will just be coming off the island, if not maybe a couple of years later. So she's still going to be adapting her style. And so if she gets her standalone movie, then they'll probably throw in some more iconic colors into it. Maybe not the U.S. colors, because that Wonder Woman of old was all about nationalism. And again, she does come to America to represent Themyscira as a diplomat, so to speak. But in the movies, they're probably going to make her more international, because obviously the movie's going to be international. The comic back in the day was more released in America. It didn't really reach a whole lot of international audiences, so they threw the colors on her to make her more recognizable, like Superman. He was, America's hero. They wanted to make Wonder Woman a diplomat for America, so that's how it worked. So with the film, they're probably going to evolve her a little bit more. I would say that they're going to change her uniform up a little bit, make her use her lasso a little bit more. Again, I'm not sure. That's the thing when compared to the theater universe and the comic universe, is that comics, you have hundreds of comics. You can access a arc across, and so you've got all the time in the world to evolve this character. But when it comes to movies, you've only got about 2.5 hours at most to really show what this character is about, and then kind of throw it in the next film and have some kind of segue. So I think it's going to work out great. Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg, I'm not sure about that. I'm not entirely familiar with most of his work, but I think he'll do good. I really like that they're introducing Cyborg into the movie. I think it's going to be great. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I'm really glad to see they're throwing Aquaman in here. Now, the only thing I'm disappointed about with the potential Justice League movie, but they're covering it on television, which I'm really happy about, so I get to watch the tweak, is that there's not going to be any Flash, which for me, Flash was the comedic value of the Justice League, aside from, the back and forth between maybe Batman and Superman, or the relationship that kind of evolved between Wonder Woman and Batman. There was also Wonder Woman and Superman. In that, I will say Wonder Woman was, for lack of a better word, or lack of a better phrase, she got around inside the Justice League. Again, depending on the arc you read. But overall, her character did do all that. But I don't think they'll do that in the movie. She's going to be more about the, the Amazon power and the femininity. You get what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad they moved up the release date. It's 6 weeks off. So, we got more time or less time to wait. So it's going to be great. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. My ramblings are always, I hope, amusing to you. If not, be sure to comment below and let me know what you think about the Sweet and Sour life, about what you think about Warner Brothers, DC, or even if you just want to sound off and tell me how your day is. I hope you have a good one either way. See ya.